Good afternoon, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris and I'm a gorilla in the wrist. It's the 19th of November today, so we're 6 days away from the Black Friday AliExpress sale. But the question I'm going to ask is, do you need to wait for sales to find a good valued watch? I don't think you do, so we're going to look at 3 watches today that I think offer excellent value either in the sales or outside of it. Give you my views and my takes and a few honourable mentions as well. So the first of our 3 watches is the Pagani Design PD 1654. Clearly wants to grow up and be a cocktail time, and I know this has been referred to as a mocktail time. But it has really good dimensions, 40mm diameter of the dial, 20mm lug width. It includes a Seiko VH65 movement, so whilst it isn't an automatic, it is a quartz. You do get a rather good sweeping hand. So to the untrained eye, this looks like an automatic watch. It has a date indicator on it, and actually it's rather good. The dial pattern, I'm trying to see an angle that we can actually see the pattern at, but it has a beautiful textured look to it. You can get it in 3 or 4 different colours. I picked the rose gold one and then immediately got rid of the strap that it came on because I didn't find that particularly attractive. But these come in at around £32, I'm guessing about $35. And for what it is as a nice dress watch, it's pretty impressive. There we go, we can kind of get a sense of the dial patterning there. But for what you get for this, I think it's outstanding value. Again, you might get a few quid off it in the sale, I don't know. But actually, why would you wait? These watches are good enough to get now. So I thoroughly recommend these. And there we have it on wrist. The other thing you might catch a glimpse of, this thing has AR coating, a crazy blue colour which flashes every now and then, which I think is really nice. But it wears really well. It's slim. That's no more than 11mm. Will slip under a cuff. Is a good everyday wear. A great watch at that price. It's extremely shiny because I'm having terrible trouble taking a picture of it. Very shiny Shanghai Handwind watch. This is achingly retro. It really genuinely does look like something from the 1950s. It has an acrylic crystal on it, so at least is authentic in that respect, and has a Handwind 15 jewel Chinese movement that I have to confess I know absolutely nothing about. But just look at it. If I can actually get you to see it, there we go, that's a bit better. It is a fingerprint magnet, obviously, but the look is just wonderful. It really does have that 1950s aesthetic going on. So if that's something that you're interested in, or you just want something different, I know Handwind isn't going to be for everybody, but I think I paid about £33 for this in the AliExpress 11/11 sale. And it's fantastic. It came on a fairly nasty faux croc, faux leather strap, which came off very quickly, and it got thrown onto one of my favourite green Notos. But it has applied indices. It has minimal writing on the dial itself, other than some of the original Chinese writing. It's 36mm, so it is fairly small. But again, that kind of accords with the vintage look, doesn't it? 18mm lug width, so you're likely to have plenty of straps to go on because you will want to throw away the one it comes on. But it's brilliant. And again, you don't need to wait for the sales for these. These are wonderful watches. Even on gorilla size wrists like mine, really enjoyable to wear. And there it is on wrist. I think I was probably worried when I got this that at 36mm it would look tiny on my wrists, and it is a small watch. The lug to lug isn't huge either, but it wears fine. It has a bit of that SNK805 witchcraft where they managed to make the watch, which is very small, not look ridiculous on your wrist. You might disagree, but I think this is a beautiful watch at a really good price. And then finally, we have the Skmei Full Metal I Want to Be a G-Shock When I Grow Up watch. Um, when I got this, I think I paid about £12 on AliExpress for it. It has some weaknesses. However, it has all the functions that you really need. So we have buttons. We have an alarm. We have a stopwatch. We have dual time. It has a timer, a countdown timer. And back to the time, you have the day and the date. And it it does what you need it to do. It's not a G-Shock. You can't throw it at the wall. It won't bounce back. It is glass on the dial. It will smash. But I've had this for a couple of years now, and they're just great watches. I have a bit of a thing. I have to say, I have a bit of a thing for Skmei watches. I really like them, and I think I've used them. I used them before I got into watches, really as just very cheap alarm clocks for when I was working away from home. But since I've sort of got to know them and I've had a few of them, um, they're just outstanding value. Are they horologically important? No, they're not. Clearly, they're not. These are Chinese makes in the image of other things. Um, but what it does really well. It's hard to argue with this. And at £12, I think these are now up to about 16 or 17. For what you're getting, the bracelet alone is spectacular. I would pay it just for the bracelet. Um, it's really good. Got a cheap buckle on it, of course it does, a cheap strap. But as a good beta watch, this is pretty good. And again, you don't have to wait for the sales. This comes in about 48 different colours. I've seen them various multicolored versions as well. I it's just such a good watch, and it has some weight and it has some presence to it. This isn't a light watch at all. This feels very robust. Apologies on the lighting of the watch. Um, but no, on wrist, it's a joy to wear. I really enjoy this one. I'm sure at some point I'll get the G-Shock equivalent. But until I do, I will continue to wear this one. So we'll put links to this one in the description, along with the links to the others. So a couple of honourable mentions. The first one is the Quartz Steeldive. I think 8205 is the serial number. This is 200 meters water resistance. It comes with an OK bracelet. It's not brilliant, but it's okay. Very wearable, solid, robust quartz movement in it. The loom on it is outstanding. It's Submariner size, so you're talking about a 42mm dial. And it's a great go anywhere type of watch. And again, you can pick these up for around about £35. Blindingly good value. You don't need a sale to pick up. They do occasionally put them in sale. So if you want to save 50p on it, then by all means do. But I would wholeheartedly recommend this. The second watch literally has just arrived in the last few days. This is, I did say I had a thing for Skmei's. This is Skmei's attempt at doing a PRX. It's not brilliant. The dial, I think, is actually really good. I think they've done it pretty well. It is quartz, but then one of the PRXs is quartz as well. The only thing that really lets it down is just that joint between the bracelet and the first link is a little bit of a gap. But actually, it looks really good for the grand sum of £20. You could argue that maybe I would have been better off saving my money and buying the real thing. But actually, I wanted to get a sense of whether or not the style suited me. Hence, I got this one. And there it is on wrist. I'd say a little bit sad that the join into the body of the watch, the lugs into the watch, isn't brilliant. But actually, it's a handsome watch. It has made me realise that I think the PRX is probably worth investigating further, so I may have to save my pennies up and put them towards getting the real thing. But this is pretty good. I know it's a Chinese copy, I know it's quartz. I haven't taken the wrapping off of it yet, but it has a working butterfly clasp and it fits my nearly 9-inch wrist. There's a lot to be said for this. It's a good watch. So the final honourable mention is the venerable Cadison C1032. This is a fantastic dress watch, comes in a couple of colours. It comes with the NH35 movement, sapphire crystal dial, and a diameter, 20-meter lug width. The only reason I couldn't show you is I don't happen to have one in at the moment. I've had about 3 or 4 of these through my hands. At some point I'll keep one for myself. But they are extraordinary watches. They're getting harder and harder to find under 50 quid. So if you can find them, I would recommend snapping them up. An absolutely outstanding dress watch.